sports for what? Sport for job, sports for medals, sports for fame, sports for this. But this physical literacy came as a beautiful concept that we need not justify all this.
Right.
Being active is a goal in itself. We want everyone to achieve something, achieve a certification, achieve a medal, achieve a degree, achieve something. But have we given good, curious learner back to society? Answer could be no.
Hello and welcome to Go Beyond Sports Talk Show Season 2, Sportingly Yours by me, Sonali Gupta, talking about sports, its people, the ecosystem, and most of all, the gaps that we require to fill. Today, we discuss with our esteemed guest about all of these topics and especially to learn more from his own experiences at the grassroots level of sports. With us today is Dr. Amit Malik, who's the country head India for International Physical Literacy Association. He's part of the Sports Ministry's Expert Committee for the Constitution of the National Sports Education Board. He has contributed in the training of PE teachers, coaches, fitness enthusiasts, administrators, and other stakeholders. Moreover, he also contributes with the titans of Indian sports themselves. He is part of the core team of Paula Gopichand and also contributes for sports social impact projects at the Abhinav Bindra Foundation program. He has a doctorate in management from India's leading business school, Management Development Institute, Gurgaon. He has done engineering from NIOT, Kurukshetra. Before coming in sports, he was working with the Grant Thornton accounting company. Dr. Amit Malik, thank you so much and welcome to Sportingly Yours by me, Sonali Gupta.
Thank you, Sonali, for the invitation. And I've seen some of your past episode. I've seen the kind of guests you have been inviting. So I'm also happy to add my perspective to what you already have been knowing. So I look forward to conversation as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Malik. My very first question, in which I love starting the show with, is why choose sports? And why do you choose to be in the sports industry after having worked in an accounting company?
So I would say sports chose me when I was not having a clear path in my life. I was a child, used to be very sick. I had tonsils, got those operated, but my memories of winter just remember that I will be ill for months. And at one stage, I was so weak that I don't have any self-esteem about my physicality. And I started doing physical workout for the first time after my 10th and 12th. Till then, I had not experienced sports much. I was totally into academics. And when it happened, I found probably the best thing I found in my life, sports. And from there onward, it has been part of my life. In my MDI time, I used to play maybe tennis every day at the court. I picked it every sports on my own, just watch the video, pick up a racket. All sports I learned on my own because I not played. I was not having good self-esteem. So even in corporate life, I would say my success is just because of the sports I used to play every day.
Wow.
So the connection was there. It's a matter of taking a plunge that you want to do your side activity to main activity.
Right.
And that happened predominantly with my friendship with a child who was 10-year-old. So I made a friend who was maybe 20 years younger than me. And with him, I used to go playing over the weekends. And I saw how much sports can mean to a child. So that purpose. And at the same time, I visualized that sports is being served to us as consumers. You cheer for sports sitting at home, you clap, you post on social medias. But the moment anyone step out of their comfort zone, of their drawing room and the bar parties to watch sport, to see the sports on the ground, you feel really sad about it. You feel that what is being served on the TV is like a very hi-fi biryani, but actual ground reality is very different. So I thought that let me make my contribution to it, because what happens in TV and social media is not the sport what is on the ground. So that was my connection, that sports was part of life. It
Right.
was just to make a meaningful contribution.
Right. So, what do you think are the current challenges that our children face in terms of their access to exercise, probably a healthy living, like the way you took up sports to change your body type, you took up sports to enhance your life, for the sports skills to develop your own self and your lifestyle. So, what are the challenges, or what stops our kids also today to take it up in terms of a healthy lifestyle?
Probably everything. Everything stops there. Let's ask the question differently. What encourages children to be active today?
Right.
Because that's a better question to ask. You look at the urban spaces, you have the answer. You look at the parents out toward the sports, you have the answers. You look at the house sports image, just look at the elite side of it. So children don't want to connect with it. So probably the ecosystem is not valuing physical activity valuable enough. When it is not valuable enough, children look at the conduct of the adults. And when the adults are not valuing it enough, they also feel that to be successful or to have good quality of life is not as important. And so I looked across that children access to sport is having too many barriers to overcome. Issue is not about that part. Issue is more about so many hurdles there. And probably even one hurdle is broken, it could open the floodgates. One parent, one community playing, one school promoting their experience in sports. Yeah, this is the way I probably look at it.
So talking about this, and while you are an advocate and also the country head for IPLA, and primarily physical literacy, do you think that physical literacy can now here be the key component in effectively changing our cultural mindset?
Yeah, possibly yes, because we have tried to solve this sports problem the top level route. Have more medalists, so ground level wants to play. But top level playing ground level convergence hardly happens. Here you get a supports in crores. Here you are struggling for the midday meal. So this marriage is almost impossible. So from that point of view, I personally feel that sports has to be looked very, very differently. And the unidimension look of either elitism or sports for something was always the catch. Sports for what? Sport for jobs, sports for medals, sports for fame, sports for this. But this physical literacy came as a beautiful concept that we need not justify all this.
Right.
Being active is a goal in itself.
Absolutely.
Because that is a human potential.
Yeah.
So for me, that was like a profound knowledge I found through it, believe me.
Right.
I've been still mesmerized, and I still say that Margaret is the world's param guru to solve the understanding of sports and physical activities. And she brought the whole context that football is an object. Football can be replaced by volleyball tomorrow. It doesn't matter. Humans remains the same. Are humans developing through football? Is the question to be asked.
Right.
So from that perspective, it really changed my thought that it's not about big sport. It's not about developing football. It's about developing people through football, developing people through volleyball, people through Zumba or yoga. So
Beautiful.
from that context, I feel that physical it is such a liberating and inclusive term, which wants to take everyone together, which want to look at everyone empathetically. That we are with you. You can do it. This is fine. You're not right in your life. So even my own experience could be adding to what I learned, but I realized that this perspective of looking at physical activities from the lifelong point of view, human flourishing point of view, has never ever been attempted, and the whole world's conversation is around which sports to develop, do a league, and get more people. But again, issue is that people again watch the TV, they become consumer. This model says that if you don't watch on TV, is absolutely fine. You should play for some time every day. It doesn't matter. If you want to follow a star, doesn't matter. You just should experience the sports for you being active as a goal in itself, why to make a process. Yeah, so that gave me clarity, rather, I would say.
I would love to ask you this question, and why you have in so many words already touched upon it. But what would be the definition of physical literacy from your point of view if we had to explain it to somebody, especially to an Indian parent?
Yeah, so it's very simple actually. We have the answer, we have the question as well. We want everyone to achieve something, achieve a certification, achieve a medal, achieve a degree, achieve something. But have we given good, curious learner back to society? Answer could be no. Do we find enough curious learner who want to learn for life? Because when we learn 20 years, we want to develop learners. The same way, physical literacy is just the same model only.
Right.
Education wants to develop learners for life. It says we need to develop physically active people for life.
Right.
When anyone chooses to be active for life through their own
Your
experiences.
association with the IPLA as a country head has perhaps taken you to all kinds of schools and places. In your interactions with different kinds of schools, or perhaps even the different states in India, what have you found, or who have you found to be more open towards the concept of physical literacy?
So again, we can remove the concept out. Concept as a word may not be that important. But since we look at literacy mission, that child should be able to mathematically literate, to able to do some calculation, write some names. So physical literacy from that standpoint finds some connection in literacy mission terminology of the country. But ground level learning, first learning is that we don't need a central curriculum or structure in that. What we need is a very local, contextual solutions, which are very, very region specific, what aligned to their culture, was the first learning. Second is that it should be absolutely free of cost in the government schools to sustain the program. And third very important part, which actually make me look the physical literacy differently, is that objective of physical literacy is that people choose to be active for life. People are not forced to be active for life. People choose to be active for life. So in that terminology, there has to be more which is inside them. Like I said, the local culture, local this thing. But with a clear outcome of lifelong health, we are looking for. We are looking for lifelong healthy people. And government part, I would say that my biggest mistake learning could be that underestimate the role of nutrition. When you go to the government school, almost 90% children come to school without having morning meals. So their last meal typically happen 8 o'clock in the night, and they get midday meal around 1 o'clock.
Wow.
And a lot of children faint in the physical education classes. A lot of children faint in the morning assemblies. So that make me realize that for physical literacy in larger Indian context, it has to be nutrition first, and physical literacy may be a small baby of that in the government school environment. It's like calorie deficient children, and we are again trying to burn more calories to integrate that. So this has been my biggest learning to contextualize in India. Nutrition has to be before physical literacy.
Wow. You also recently concluded a session on Olympism, and you're an advocate for it too. So, what are some of the values that it teaches us, which you think we are probably in the need of the art for, and are extremely vital for today's generation, especially growing into, again, probably physical literacy, into growing into being active and fit, and primarily for growing into sports?
So for physical literacy, look at the values slightly differently. So they try to look at that. Experience of an activity is more important than the activity itself.
Right.
So what is most valuable is a person who is engaged in activity or part of the activity. That experience will stay with him or her. So it is called the affective domain of the activity. And to simplify it in Indian words, in physical activity is not physical. Apart from your body, your mind and heart is also equally active.
Right.
So your body is active, my heart is not attached to what I am doing, it's not engaged in that doing. My heart, even mind is not into it. Heart and mind will easily say it's not useful for me.
Right.
So that's the learning I had, that this experience of the heart, या हिंदी में दिल मन शरीर तीनों का इकट्ठा होना जरूरी है to be physically active for life. And that was pretty new. But at the same time, when we talk to anyone that what makes you active for life, answer doesn't come that I know Zumba dance. Answer come, I enjoy it. There are friends. I want to do it for my competition spirit. I feel like that. So there's an answer that when people say I'm active because I feel, I like, these are the words which come.
Yeah,
or same way, I don't like, maybe I like something else more. So that was a critical part, that experience is more important than the activity itself.
Right. So I think, like most times that kids have been told that it's not the end result, it's the journey that matters, or it's not the medal, but it's your strive to the medal that matters. Is that where the mind, body, soul all come together, and probably then that becomes more achievable?
So look, that this is a very good talk once you are looking at the post-retired athletes. But from the young people's point of view, just go back to our time. How a young child will look at what is it for me after 1 month, 3 months, 6 months.
Okay.
That is only possible if we focus on the process itself and assume that sports is building those children for life. And every question which as a parent asks, every question as a coach asks, emphasize upon, and with short-term thinking like a child thinks. Like we have the reward system for the child. So, for example, a lot of literature I've read that at young age, the question of parent-child has to be, how much did you enjoy in today's class? That's the first question. How many friends you make through sports? Tell me one habit which you improved through sports. It could be as simple as waking up 6 o'clock instead of 7:30. So if that is the part, and also give them little bit like their own improvement become important, like self-excellence. Okay, you didn't win the match last 2 months, but look at your speed. You were running already 100 meters in say 16 seconds. Now it has come to 15 seconds. So you're improving. Because when you put effort, they need to show this improvement, which is near to them, maybe 1 month, 2 months. So I personally feel that that jargon of journey doesn't connect the children.
Yeah.
What they connect with, how much you enjoy. Take sports, playing children to parties together. So they have memories beyond sports. Say, I made good friends. I learned so much through sports. Let them travel together. They're going for tournament. They start living with that. And asking those nudging questions in the right direction, which question can point in the process, but at that stage, journey may not be that easy to comprehend for them.
Yeah. So in this long-term athlete development program, in fact, that you have also done with the Gopichand Academy, which was primarily for athletics project, what have been your learning and key takeaways from it? And especially when you're looking at this aspect of kids who are, who are kids, right? They're impatient, they want to see results. Even the word long term sort of doesn't register with them immediately and easily.
Yeah, this was one of the most satisfying work, I would say, in my sports journey. Trying to do something for athletics, very rural sports. And children in the rural slum areas can connect. I can also do it. I just need to run. There are no equipment, there are no fancy lights under which it is placed. There's no need to purchase 2 lakhs of rifle to play the sport. So we set up the project under Gopichand Foundation. Nagapuri Ramesh, who is the coach of athletics, he's the main mentor. And our vision was it has to be coach-led program with long-term athlete development as the approach. And a lot of things we evolved. I'll just simply tell first thing as simple as how to get talented children to come. So in this process, I read through how Jamaicans do it. And one of the interesting things is that in the talent selection, coach or the talent scout people need to shut up their mouth and observe the stories of the children.
Right.
And that was so powerful for me to listen to a child's story. Why do you play sport? What makes you connect? What do you want to do? And then you know their journey, who has the hunger, fire through the journey to make it happen.
Right.
And that's very interesting that you can do talent selection by hearing to children rather than imposing your thought onto it. This was a long-term athlete because I'm working on people, and few children came and say that we like Kho, but we are good in fitness tests. We have been sent here. And asked, what do you want? I said, we want Kho. Okay, you go back to Kho. But in case you want to try, you can come back. Every process we built from the scratch, like talent selection, we have one fine day, everyone should come, appear, and then they show that at 45 degree, not having food, not having water. Are we just able to see the talent in half an hour? That's what they run and do it.
Right.
So for that, we say our doors are open for talent throughout the year. Anyone who wants to come is most welcome. And I'll want to share a story. This girl has won Asian Youth Medal. She came from a place near to Hyderabad, and father said we don't have money to send her to Hyderabad. And she was brought by the bus from that place to Hyderabad. Our person went to the bus stand, paid the money to the conductor for the ticket, brought that girl here, and 2 years she's Asian Youth Medal.
Wow.
Same when we look at the lot of rural sports as well. You'll be very surprised that they are used to a specific meal because they're conditioning. Little bit rice, sambar is what they can take. And one of the relevant conversation which we had was that nobody will weed you out. We will keep you, but you should improve your nutrition for 2 years. We want you to be healthy females first, medalist later. It doesn't matter if medal doesn't come. But if we break you as a person in the journey, so just do your focus on the nutrition. We will take care of you, and in the ground, whatever we had available, we made available to them the juice, fruit, B12, vitamin D, vitamin C.
Right.
Whatever each girl was lacking, we gave it in the ground.
Wow.
And when they came to do that, we never felt so respected in our journey.
Wow.
Nobody knew that we were treated like objects. So that's what long-term athlete development. We just look at the human first, and as you rightly said, for the medal part, since they were given an economical, I would say, psychologically safe environment, so they were fine that result could come later. So like
Right.
15-year-old could break the national record, but coach said, no, we want him to be retained till he's 18 years. So
Right.
then he would be real potential at international level. So
Got
we
it.
followed long-term athlete development through serving basic need at the ground level. I give them food first, frankly speaking, food, accommodation, then training, so that these
Yeah.
rural children can come and train. And
Right.
and then you have those training which help them to develop on all the aspect. So everyone was being developed on all the aspect, as I mentioned, all the
Right.
events they played. They played multiple events of the athletics. Then they specialize by age of 18 to 3, and after 20 they specialize in one event.
Right.
So that's how. But I can go on and on because you
Yes.
we kind of thrashed all the myths around how to look at things the way it is, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that was pretty helpful.
But tell me something. With all of this that's happening at the grassroots, and there is really a lot happening at the grassroots, are we ready to produce world champions? Or do we just have a handful who maybe prodigy kids can be developed into champions and we are still struggling at, at our grassroots or still struggling to acquire the talent or to keep the talent or to grow it and nurture it and have long-term development programs?
Uh, as first of all, I'll answer as if I'm still learning in the process. So I would say my understanding has been that like the physical literacy, grassroots is valuable in itself only. There's no need to link it to elite sports. It's more about how many journeys from the grassroots have a happy ending in their sports career. Happy ending is the word. If you leave at age of 16 with positive note, you go back, study sports, and absolutely fine. Sports will grow. If you leave at age of 21 becoming state champion, but happy ending, giving your best, he or she will grow the sport. But if they are chucked out of the system and few remains, even who is fourth place at the Olympic medalist may still try to unsettle the system. So from long-term point of view, we are looking at sport grassroots to start as a career pathway in various sports activities. And that medal conversation is not around the grassroots, it is purely around the economics of the sports.
Right.
There's a whole data of $10,000 is the grassroots playing cost. This is the support which Khelo India gives, maybe 6 to 7 lakh per year.
Right.
So how many parent can afford 6 to 7 lakh Khelo India support at a grassroots level? Answer is 3 million people. I done my calculation through income tax returns data. So 3 million people can play Olympic sports. If 1 or 2% play from them and rest just depend on the government support, it will always be limited. Maybe we can grow 6 to 10, 10 to 15. That's the way it has to be.
Right.
But again, I'm saying that I'm quite unconvinced about my learning, but
Yes.
I'm learning in the process.
So going by a stat-based question then, India having 1.3 billion population, and we always want to talk about how large our country is and how much potential we therefore have. We won 35 gold medals in the entire history, which is half the medal of UK that is won only in the 2020 Olympics. Even countries like Kenya, whose per capita income is lower than that of India, have a way better medal tally.
Yeah.
So what, according to you, is the crux of this, if we can call it a problem, or perhaps just the crux of this whole equation?
So let's look at very interesting. Look at our hockey example. We won so many Olympic golds as a team. Then struggles in between. So I had asked this question to one of the Canada's topmost high performance expert. So he said that you had a system in hockey time which was working for you. Now you're trying to build a system which is systematically killing the sports itself. And there's the answer, that every culture has different way of thriving the sports in their ecosystem. When sports was not that commercial, it was free flow, it was in our culture. Hockey was being, of course, doing good result, but you remember 20, 30 years back, ask other people, your parent, at every evening 5 o'clock, every child used to be in the street.
Yeah,
So we had at least 10, 20, 30, 100 times better sports culture in the past.
absolutely. Absolutely.
This maybe may not have succeeded that much, but
Yeah.
that's fine. We were having limited resource and awareness.
Right.
But now, and look at that. Sports was for the humans and the Aam Janta in India. Now it is becoming for superhumans, and the humans are just supposed to clap in the journey. Clap, likes, share. This is what we have. Our job has been changed, uh, and that's how I still feel that it needs some serious thinking that, and it cannot be compared. Sonali, every
Yeah.
country is so drastically different in the approach. But they told me that Kenya doesn't have a system, so they don't kill the talent.
Yeah. Do you think the advent of so much technology now is probably also the other side of the effects, like killing the system, killing the natural talent, or perhaps overdoing something that we were anyways doing very well? It's like, why fix something that's not broken, but then we are redoing everything that is not supposed to be done.
So technology, yeah, right, is a necessity. It's used all across. So from technology for connectivity could be a huge blessing as well. Like today, just visualize that if somebody wants to emulate a stroke of PV Sindhu, that girl has access to internet to learn the stroke in the village. Um, so technology for the knowledge sharing, for dissemination, for connecting is hugely beneficial. I feel so. It creates, it breaks the barrier. Otherwise, 20 years back, athletes were not having enough resource where to look out information for. Where can I go? Whom can I play? Can I do online coaching from somebody? But right now, only thing that when we look everything through the data angle, and humans are complex. At age of uh, 12, you might choose an athlete who could be 5 feet long, that she will turn 6 when 18. But somebody is 4, 5, that girl may turn 6 at age of 18. So that's how data, if it is data captured through technology, just to aid in decision making of humans. If humans still take the precedence, probably technology can be good aid.
Right.
And I want to share Gopichand's example. She was rejected from the sprint because she was told that she's short height, she can only do endurance event.
Right.
And then, of course, until some coach used the human brain that she is quick actually.
Yeah.
Why to put her to endurance? So this where I feel that technology for knowledge dissemination absolutely done. Technology to add to the human wisdom is definitely the possible solution.
Right. One last one that I'm going to talk and ask. Our minister Kiran Rijiju says we cannot be satisfied with only 1 or 2 medals. We have to be in the top 10 in the 2028 Olympics. How realistic is this as we stand and as India stands today? Of course, we are extremely euphoric about our performance at the CWG recently concluded, and suddenly the whole nation has burst with a ray of hope. But how realistically are we already there?
So I use the word which said that if sports turn euphoric to experiential, the first step, and high performance sport is actually is something like a stock exchange, banking, commando method. So if it is like a zero error model with unconditional support, then definitely we can start building a road which will lead us there. Currently, we don't have a road which leads us there because as a society, for the sport to have that kind of perseverance for 10, 15 years is not our societal outlook currently. We are not playing for fun engagement. At the same time, we are fine with making gradual small processes. So if 8 years from now, we would not believe what Western countries would have innovated to get the performance out. And I still feel that maybe 20, 30 years now, the things are shaping. Maybe we could have a Olympic for robots as well. Humans could be replaced by robots once. Because there's the end of technology. Technology already there.
On that note, I'm going to ask you some very fun rapid fire questions.
Okay.
100 medals in one Olympics for India. Yes or no?
Good dream to have.
By what year?
Come again.
By what year do you think we can even make this dream a reality?
100 years only.
Corporate or sports?
Corporate or sports? Sports anytime.
Football or cricket?
Humans matter. Sport doesn't matter for me.
That's very diplomatic. Sports over academics or academics over sports? No diplomacy.
I'll say sports because it has more values for living a quality of life. And it makes you internally very powerful.
It also makes you able to get through your academics far better.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
3 words.
Okay, plenty words.
The 3 words I can do. Live with purpose. Values to the core. Third is grilled to the best of your efforts.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this very serious and very fun conversation, because there's so much that we have, looked into in terms of insights of what really is happening at our ground levels. And like you so very rightly said, that we really require to differentiate between what our grassroots are and not have to look at it or connect it always to the elite sports that are being shown on TV, and of course be influenced by it in a way if it leads us to play more, and which is where then physical literacy as an absolute key component comes in and hopefully becomes a part of our curriculums and our daily life and probably daily conversations. So then to end with this, I would like to thank everyone for being such a watchful audience, for liking, for sharing, for commenting. Thank you very much for all of your support. Look forward to another episode with me on Go Beyond Sports. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sonali.